Assemblyman Scott Gray assured Ivy Ridge will be a high priority of the state's Attorney General. Gray met with the AG's office today to talk about the now closed academy at Ivy Ridge, located on State Route 37 near Ogdensburg. Gray says urgent action is needed after the release of a Netflix documentary alleging physical, sexual, and psychological abuse by former staff members. The documentary crew found files and video surveillance left behind when they returned to the campus in 2020, calling it proof. While the St. Lawrence County District Attorney's Office is looking into complaints, Gray wants the AG's office to be involved as well and has several objectives, including pursuing justice where it can happen, exonerate people wrongly accused, and help the community heal.
My office and myself will act as more or less the facilitator here. And if people come to my office, we will sort them out, right? And we will suggest they either communicate with the Attorney General's office or they communicate with the District Attorney's office.
Gray is calling for a comprehensive and transparent investigation. No comment tonight from the AG's office about that meeting held today.